The death of celebrity endorsements, and I love that you have Taylor Swift on the freaking
Yes,
thumbnail.
I just picked
love
it.
Well, that she's the main one.
I'll keep mine short. Basically, a question I had for you guys. There was a Talker's research. Natalia, if we could go to the first article. This is from the New York Post. Majority of Americans don't want to hear their favorite celebrities' political opinions. Obviously, the election over, people, I think there's a burnout factor when it comes to things, and I can't think of anything that was covered more heavily than the 2024 presidential election. And your history of covering media
Never.
and being in media,
No.
have you ever seen anything covered like 2024 was?
No.
Absolutely
Unbelievable.
not.
Outside of a war. It was the only, like war and 9/11
Yeah.
and the 2024 election.
Yeah.
A survey of 2,000 Americans. This was done by Talker Research. They examined the thoughts and opinions on celebrity and politics. Obviously, people have been burnt out through the election and over it. But they went out and they surveyed these 2,000 people to figure out, like, hey, what are your actual thoughts on celebrity endorsements and how do they affect your vote? 64% of Americans, so more than the majority of Americans, want to know how they don't want to know how their favorite celebrity votes. Only 22% of people would be happy to know their favorite singer or actor's political party, and 18% of people would stop being a fan if celebrities' views differed from their own. I remember this happened to me with Bruce Springsteen. I went to see, I love Bruce. I love his music. I hate his politics. And I went, the first time I ever went to a Springsteen concert, he was doing a solo acoustic tour. This is the early 2000s. I go with my mom, maybe 2004. I go with my mom to the show, and midway through his set, he stops and starts talking about the most boring person on earth, horse-faced John Kerry.
Oh,
and he
God.
talks about that fella for 35 minutes.
No.
And I'm like 19, and I'm so excited to hear Thunder Road, and I'm hearing him talk about John fucking Kerry. And my mom got so mad that she got up and she's like, we're leaving. And I'm like, Mom, I don't want. And she's like, no, we're leaving. We're not going to sit here and listen. And not the first Springsteen show my mom and I got thrown out of or left. We left on the road. Another one, we were at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia before they blew it up. It was the only stadium that ever had a jail inside of it. And we went to see Springsteen play, and the guys in front were rather tall. And my mom asked if they could move, and she was drunk. And she asked, not in such a nice way, hey, could you move a few times? And then they called my mom the C word, and I tried to swing on him, and then escorted. So my dad paid like $600 per ticket for us to have good tickets, and we got drug out after like the third song. Anyway, my question for you guys, it ruined some of Springsteen's music for me. Like, I love his old music. I haven't listened to anything new. He did the podcast with Obama. I never once listened to it. Did the rest of America, apparently.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had a celebrity come out, somebody that you like, somebody that you enjoyed watching? Because it turns out it doesn't even affect votes. Like 11% of people said that they've changed their vote or consider changing their vote because of a celebrity. Only 7% of people actually have. Do you guys have this experience where somebody has been turned off to you because they came out and spoke politically? Or are you guys bigger people than I and can move on past that?
I mean, I just automatically start with the assumption that every actor, singer, celebrity I like
liberal.
is flamboyantly liberal, and there's really not much I can do about it. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, the entire Avengers cast is voting for Kamala Harris. That doesn't change the fact that I enjoy Avengers movies, because believe it or not, you can do Death of the Author in your own house on your own time. You can separate the art from the artist anytime you want. You don't need to embrace their politics to enjoy their work. For example, the frontman of my favorite band, Greta Van Fleet, flamboyantly gay, like super gay, and also like posts links to donate to the Trevor Project, an evil organization that has been proven multiple times to be encouraging suicidal ideation in gender-confused kids. Honestly, if the lead singer of that band ever watched this podcast, he'd probably hate me. But I don't mind because I really like his songs. There's not much he can do to stop me from listening to him. So you kind of have to, if you start from that perspective of they're going to disagree with me, nobody makes it in Hollywood, nobody makes it big in the music and entertainment industry without embracing the liberal narrative, you can kind of be liberated from it a little bit. And of course, it is more impactful with guys like Springsteen, who cultivated this persona of like pro-American, you know, like they were all
Born in the USA.
Exactly.
Well, which turned out to be an anti-American album or
Kiss
the
my
anthem.
ass.
It was actually about the people coming back from Vietnam and not being able to get jobs.
Exactly.
But yeah,
And now
he
we-
did
we-
talk a lot about the common problems that plague the American male. And that's what I identified with. Plus it was
Yes.
Jersey. But then it becomes, okay, so why? Why would these people risk all of that? Because it turns off fans. There's more slides and stats we can go through, but I want to move to the next thing after you guys answer your celebrity question. But okay, have you had somebody ruin it for you? And then why? Because these people are worth tens, 20, 30 million dollars, some of them hundreds of millions of dollars.
I gotta say it.
Go. Who?
Dixie Chicks broke
I remember
my
the Dixie
heart.
Chicks.
You mean just the Chicks,
Yeah, well,
not Dixie Chicks
That was the
anymore.
rebrand. But yeah, but they turned out to kind of be right about the war.
They
in
were
Iraq.
right. They were right.
I
It
was
was
mad
but,
at them at the moment because I was in and I was
Yeah.
like, who are these? I used to love them. I used to love the Dixie. I was in the country. I was in the military.
I was a baby. I was like a youngin'. But
Thanks
my
for making me
parents
feel like an
we
old
used,
bastard,
sorry,
Kelly.
I love how
sorry.
your accent got more southern when you started talking
Damn
about
right.
Dixie Chicks.
I mean, I used to sing their whole album. I was like 5 years old,
Wide
but
Open
like
Spaces.
my parents were like, we can't listen to them anymore. Like, cause we used to blast it in the car on the way to soccer or whatever. And we couldn't do it anymore. Dixie Chicks. So, but like, that was the first and last time I just like started listening to like the old songs again. Like I have my whole albums and stuff, but like that was the first and last time I ever like stopped listening to somebody because of what you said. Like it doesn't bother me what their politics are. I'm not the left. I don't cancel someone because they believe something different than me. Now, if someone were to come out and say something really horrible, you know, something that wasn't like, oh, you're
Like if they were pro Hamas.
yes.
Okay.
Something like that, or something where they're
I
like,
love Bin
where they
Laden.
like, or they're super
His
pro. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a Christian abortion, like pro-abortion or like pro something like that would bother me because I think that would come out in their songs. Like that's why I don't listen to a lot of rap music or. And it's not all rap. I like a lot of rap, but there's some songs where it's just so degrading to women, and I'm like, I just choose not to listen to those people because I
95%
don't
of
believe
them
in
songs.
those values.
Okay, so
Ludacris used to have
I
a
will
song
say something
called
on that
Oh.
point because it
Yeah.
jogged my memory.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac is amazing, but Stevie Nicks just did a pro-abortion, pro-women's rights song
I'm
like
out.
a
Never
year
heard
ago.
that.
I'm out. I
And
like and I love Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks is great, but like
That
the
bothers
new
me.
stuff.
I can't support
I
an
can't do
artist
that. Exactly.
that I can't support an artist that promotes something like that I don't believe in. You have different politics than me. You have different ideals than me. That's fine. But I'm not going to listen to because they tell stories.
It
They
depends
make
on
you
what they're
feel things.
espousing, right?
Well,
You
Amy, what
know,
about
like
you?
I can separate the art from the artist, but I'm very much like Kelly to the point where I won't listen to anything like rap or anything that even uses like an 808 frequency, which is the lowest possible frequency that the human
Right.
brain can hear, and
mean-
it actually does negative
Oh,
things
but
to
the-
your
oh, the-
emotions and to your body. Like
oh, that
I
music drives
stay
me
so
fucking
far
nuts.
away from that stuff anyway, so it doesn't bother me. But you know, if there was someone who was like staunchly like pro-abortion, but the song is about like getting over heartbreak, like I could listen to that and relate to that if I was going through a breakup, you know? So it just depends on the topic of the song.
Yeah.
I think for people it depends on if they have parasocial relationships with the artist to determine whether or not they're going to be influenced. I haven't been into celebrity culture like since I was a little kid, so it just doesn't affect
See,
me.
mine, Bob, it does. So here's my thing. Because mind you, I'm a comedian, I'm an actor, I do my stuff. You know where my stance is. I never would be like, don't you dare. No. It's like, for instance, an Alec Baldwin who, bro, Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, all these freaking movies, the Edge, all these fantastic movies. Like now when I see him, I'm like, damn, man, I lost something for
De
you.
Niro did that for Mir. Yep.
De Niro, Shia LaBeouf during the Trump thing when he's like, he will not divide us. Like, I get it. You guys have been brainwashed by that system. You know what I mean? But I lose respect when you're pushing it and you're forcing it on people to vote for people that's policies are going to hurt the fellow American. If they're going to hurt, if you're going to be pushing that transgender for little kids and the surgeries and shit, I'm sorry. You're the enemy. You become the enemy of the people if you are pro-open border, okay? But you don't house any of these Mexicans that because everybody, by the way, when you say open border, they automatically go, oh, it's Mexicans. How many Mexicans have you guys taken into your homes? It's always, and every time they do those pranks and stuff, we're like, oh, are you pro-border? Okay, well, we have a couple of them. We want them to move into your house. They'll never do that shit, okay? They're all talk and no fucking action. So if you're pro-open border, if you're pro transgender surgery for little kids, you're the enemy. You are the enemy of the people, and I lose all respect for you, and I will not spend $1 on any movie. Like, dude, Robert De Niro, The fucking guy has been in some of the greatest movies: Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Godfather, Casino, and now you're just a brainwashed cuck for the left because they probably got you dirt on your ass for being at Epstein's
probably.
Island, allegedly. I don't know. There's no explanation for somebody like that tough guy, New Yorker, Italian guy, to fall off that hard.
It's hard. I watched The Good Shepherd, I believe it
Yeah.
is. It's about the forming of the CIA. It's a great movie, but he's in it. And I just, like, there was that part where it takes you out of the art.
Yep.
Where you're like, oh. And like,
Screw
and-
this guy.
Yeah, and it's not like I was like, I gotta turn the movie off, but it took me out of enjoying the movie. And not saying I didn't enjoy the movie. It took me out of the enjoying of the art experience because he spoke out politically. The same thing happened to me with Springsteen. When you interrupt a concert and go on a 35-minute monologue about why George W. Bush, it turns out he was kind of right, was bad for the country. But I think that he may have been better than John Kerry. Who knows what that guy
who
would
knows?
have done.
This
That
is
Skull and
kind
Bones
of
guy?
the interesting thing here, because when you look at, you decrepit old son of a gun who,
Hey,
who
kiss my
remembers
ass.
the 90s, and unfortunately I do not. You look at where that used to be.
Decrepit. I'm 38.
I'm 47.
You're in better shape than everyone in this
Yes.
building.
Whoa.
Sexy.
No, but like in the 90s and even into the 2000s under the Bush administration, the cool counterculture position to be in was on the left. You hated the Iraq war. You believed from the get-go that it was, under false pretenses, which it was, as it turns out. but
Obviously.
the Republicans didn't know that yet. And it was, rage against the machine, standing up against all these, dominant right-wing points. And then you fast forward to 2020, where Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols says voting Trump is the the punk rock thing to do, and Rage Against the Machine has a vaccine mandate to get into their concerts. You see that it switched. And that is why so many of these things aren't resonating anymore. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because you used to be able to, I'm going to use my platform as a celebrity to stick it to the power. I'm going to come out against Wall Street and the corporations and the government and all these other facets of society that are the stuffy old white man conservatives who want us all to go to church and stop expressing ourselves. And that was what they were rebelling against. But then you saw the left take over. And suddenly, if you are, in favor of pride parades and drag queen story hour, great. You agree with all of the corporations and all the Wall Street hedge funds and all of the government officials. They're all on board with that. You're not rebelling anymore. And suddenly the countercultural position is apparently fiscal responsibility and having 3 kids with 1 woman.
Yeah.
Suddenly that's the shocking position to take.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
How the
look at
pendulum swings.
Aaron Lewis, who used to be the lead singer of Stained,
Yeah.
who now transitioned into country music a few years ago. He did that song a few years back,
Like
Am I the Only
everybody
One?
else.
Yeah.
Where he has that line, Am I the only one who quits singing along every time I hear a Springsteen song? It's like,
That's a great
yeah,
line.
it
Great
That's
makes a
great
lot of
line.
sense.
Rob, you gonna finish your?
Oh, no, I'm good. That I know we have
Well,
other
that was
topics to get to.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But did you have anything else?
I
to
want
do?
you to show that chart. That
Oh,
Is it-
yeah, just like when it comes down to it, according to Statista, who they pulled these from a YouGov survey that was done earlier last year, August of 2024. They say that it's, 51% of respondents have formed a negative opinion of a celebrity based on their political stance. So I wonder, why do these celebrities come out and make these weird stances? Is it
Can
because...
we show this chart?
Because,
Oh, there you go.
like, you see people that were showing up and getting rumored to be paid $2 million to show up to Kamala's campaign. Those people don't need the money.
No.
I mean, like, I can sit here. I need the money. I need $3 million to show up at a Houston rally and not perform like Beyonce allegedly did.
Yeah.
So but what does Beyonce need that money for? What is Oprah? Oprah is an empire. She's not even a person.
Rob-
Do you understand? You ascend to empire. And
Yeah.
she did that. She doesn't need the money. Why would she go out?
you-
Is it that because they actually believe Donald Trump was Hitler?
Or-
is it because
or-
they're voting paid for? Or blackmail?
Or there's a
Okay.
video of them on an island. See the circle?
Allegedly.
I walked right into that.
Or there's a video of them on an island with their husband
Yeah.
doing crazy shit with underage people, and they get you ready for this? Not a phone call, Robbie. They get an email, and I'm gonna go to you, Connor, because we gotta go through your story, because I definitely want to do it. Or they get an email, an encrypted email that says, "Hey, so and so, you're going here on this day to promote her, or else open up the email, and that's the video of you with said underage kid. Good luck with that." And that's I'm not saying it is 100%. But that's the tactic, because why else would you have this big-ass Diddy, Epstein thing? So you could get people to do shit whenever you want, have people like us going, why would she do that? Or why would they do that? I'm not saying that's what they did. I'm just saying, allegedly, that's how some people would work. But anyway, so if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.